Good day. This is Aida Kimi, International IELTS Trainer. In this video, I'm going to answer a Task 1 writing question, and this answer is going to be band 9, so make sure you pay attention carefully. Okay, let's just have a look at the graph. As you see, this is a line graph, and all line graphs are dynamic graphs. And one thing is very important, especially in the dynamic graphs. This is the comparison between the end and the beginning of the period, which has to be mentioned in the overview paragraph. Okay, let's just have a close look at the question. First, I'm going to read the question. Well, the line graph below shows changes in the amount and type of fast food consumed by Australian teenagers from 1975 to 2000. Well, this is pretty easy. Okay, so now having a close look at the graph itself, see, you got to analyze it carefully. Do not rush, because if you don't understand the question and the graph, you can't answer actually well. So, see, here we have the years, 1975 to 2000. That's a period of 25 years. And then we have the scale, which is starting from 0 to maximum 120. But here we have something like 100. And 3 types of foods: pizza, fish and chips, and hamburgers. Obviously, fish and chips initially show very high levels. That means that they are very popular. They were actually very popular because this happened in the past, in 1975, the beginning of the period. However, the popularity or the consumption or the rate that fish and chips were eaten significantly dropped, dramatically dropped by the end of the period. However, in a strong contrast, the hamburgers and pizza were eaten at high amounts by the end of the period. Okay, so now, as you know, the first thing that we got to do is to write the introduction paragraph, which is very easy because it's just a rephrase or paraphrase of the question itself. So I'm just going to open a Word file and write my answer there. And I'm sure you're going to follow and enjoy, because this is going to be interesting, huh? Okay, so there it is. Well, I'm just going to try to show the question here on the left side corner on the top. Yes, I think that you can see it now. Okay, so now let's start. I would write like this. I would start like this. The given line graph illustrates the consumption of fast food by Australian adolescents. See, I just use a synonym. Between 1975 and 2000, a span of 25 years. That's another way to mention how long it was. Okay, now I can go to the next paragraph and write my overview. I write overall, the consumption, as we discussed, of fish and chips plummeted. Plummet means to drop significantly over the time, while it means on the other hand, or however, the popularity of pizza and hamburgers grew. That's it. And now I got to write 2 detailed paragraphs, and that's it. And I got to make sure that the number of the words are minimum 150. So I can do something else. Since I have a small introduction and a small overview, I can just put it there. That's going to be one beautiful paragraph like this. Okay, so and now I'm going to have 2 detailed paragraphs. That's going to be 3 paragraphs, actually 4 paragraphs, but this is fine. So in 1975, see, you're going to mention the beginning of the period. As you see here, see, the beginning of the period is 1975. So you got to mention what year and how much, or what level actually. So in 1975, fish and chips stood out. They stood out as the most popular fast food among Australian youth, being consumed 100 times per year. As I said, you gotta mention the data, otherwise you're gonna lose marks. Data, okay? So, and I shall continue now. This was far greater than the, this was far greater than the annual consumption of pizza and hamburgers, which was nearly 5 times. Yeah, that's it. It was nearly 5 times. See, and now by this, I have been able to show what level the amount of the pizza and hamburgers was. I mean, the rate of the consumption, or the number of the times that they were eaten. 5 times more. See, this is the trick. Okay, and now I shall continue. As you see, when we continue, there is a short period of increase, and how I can mention it, I'm going to write it like this. With the exception of a brief spike. Spike means increase, usually sudden. A brief spike from 1980 to 1985, the consumption of fish and chips progressively dropped over a 25-year period to a final level of around 40. Done. Okay, see? And now I can move to the next paragraph, which is about the other 2 types of foods. So I'm going to start my paragraph with this. A stark contrast, signaling that we witness significant changes. Okay, in a stark contrast, adolescent consumption of the other 2 fast food categories was significantly greater or higher, because I've already used great. That's it. And now I shall even mention more details. So I continue like this. The popularity of pizza steadily rose. See, as you see here in the graph, it steadily rose to the point that it overtook that of fish and chips. In 1990, Okay, as you know, overtaking means going further the amount of the other one. So the trend then stabilized. From 1995 to 2000. I'm not done yet. I'm going to continue. In 1985, the popularity of hamburgers surpassed that of fish and chips for the first time since the 1970s and 1980s. Okay, this is nice. When their consumption surging, okay, I'm not gonna like that, with their consumption surging tremendously, great, huh? Okay, and I'm gonna write one more sentence and I'm done. The amount consumed peaked at 100 times annually, the same as for fish and chips. Finished. Okay, and as you know, whenever you write something, you gotta proofread. Proofreading is very important. Try to read it for a couple of minutes to fix your errors. The given line graph illustrates the consumption of fast food by Australian adolescents between 1975 and 2000, all clear. A span of 25 years overall, the consumption of fish and chips plummeted over time while the popularity of pizza hamburgers grew. Okay, in 1975, fish and chips stood out as the most popular fast food among Australian youth, being consumed 100 times per year. This was far greater than the annual consumption of pizza and hamburgers, which was nearly 5 times correct. With the exception of a brief spike from 1980 to 1985, the consumption of fish and chips progressively dropped over a 25-year period to a final level of around 40. Still no mistakes. In a stark contrast, the adolescent consumption of the other two fast food categories was significantly higher. The popularity of pizza steadily rose to the point that if it overtook, see, that's a typo here, huh? It overtook that of fish and chips in 1990. The trend then stabilized from 1995 to 2000. In 1985, the popularity of hamburgers surpassed that of fish and chips for the first time since the 1970s and 1980s, with the consumption surging tremendously, correct? The amount consumed peaked at 100 times annually, the same as for fish and chips. Done, okay? And let's just check how many words are written here, because you gotta actually count how many words you've written. Okay, this is 193, clear, beautiful. Okay, so that's it. Make sure to work on it, to watch it very carefully, to take notes, and I'm gonna be back with more writings, with more answers, even tasks to make sure you follow and enjoy. And I wish you good luck in your exams. Bye-bye.